We are live at Redskins Park for the first day of Minicamp 2019. Larry Michael, joined by Jay Crane-Schreifels and Asa Winborn, our Redskins Broadcast Network crew. Very first practice for these rookies. Beautiful day here at Redskins Park. Temperatures in the 70s, a little bit of cloud cover, gorgeous playing fields. It is time for football. As this opening period, the stretch period, continues here at Redskins Park. And we're going to be with you for the next few minutes, showing you exclusive behind-the-scenes views of practice here today. And again, obviously, a lot of eyes on this highly touted draft class. Dwayne Haskins, the top pick for the Redskins. Montez Sweat, the other first-round pick for the Redskins. I'm going to see who we can get here on this show, on this live edition, this live stream. I see Chris Cooley standing here. Chris Cooley, do you remember your rookie minicamp?
No. Not a second of it.
Why not?
I don't know. That's a great question. I did miss my first flight here. I went to the Salt Lake City airport. I was late. I had to fly in on some extra plane, so I was late. I missed the first half of the day of meetings. Security was long, though. It was before they had the good machines.
You probably had a paper ticket.
It was Derek Crawford, who was working for Joe Gibbs at the time, who set up all the flights. He called me, or I called him and said, I missed the flight. And he said, what are you talking about? You're in the big leagues now.
Cooley, how do you feel out here? It's a highly touted draft class. It's a beautiful day, and a lot of kids out here trying to make an impression. This is pretty cool.
I think it's really cool. It's exciting for all these young guys, all the undrafteds as well. I see where the camera is.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm looking at everybody else. But you got all these young guys. You know, they didn't give very many of the undrafted's names on the back of their jersey, though.
They got tape on their helmets, though.
They did. They taped the helmets. It's Pop Warner-like. But no, it's fun. You get to see how they operate in a pretty limited scale, and it's football.
All right, Asa, take a shot of the top pick over there, Dwayne Haskins Jr. And Cooley, obviously, he did all the tape breakdowns, and we heard what Cooley did on the Cooley podcast. You can hear it on Redskins app. You can get it on iTunes, Google Play, full-length video on YouTube. The guy is just omnipresent, but he's out there. He is certainly an imposing presence, and he's got a lot to learn.
He absolutely does, and any young quarterback coming into the NFL does. The language is much different. The terminology is a lot longer. The play calls end up being a lot longer. You got to string full sentences of a new language together, and so for him it'll not just be the timing with the receivers and the understanding of the route concepts, but actually calling the plays. I know that sounds easy, but it's a little bit more than that, and so you got to get it through and get going and feel very comfortable so then he can start operating.
You had a chance to meet him yet, Chris?
I haven't, but I've heard only great things from everyone that's talked to him, and he looks excited out there. He looks awesome.
He does look awesome.
He looks like a tight end out there. So it's been a while since we've had to do that big.
Yeah, good to see him out there. And again, this is where it starts. And he's wearing that number 7. And I see a guy standing in front of us. We're going to get him on here, Joe Theismann. And I guess he's just keeping an eye on that number and making sure it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Who's wearing 47 today?
There's somebody out here at 47. I think it is a tight end, though. I believe it was a tight end.
To root for. I'm going to cheer for 47. My number doesn't carry quite the weight of Joe Theismann.
No,
so it is odd to see a 7. It'd be odd to see a 44 or a 9. It's odd to see a 7.
It's very odd seeing Dunbar with 47, to be honest with you. For those couple of years, Cooley, when he was wearing that 47, it was just hard for me to stomach. Great kid, Dunny, of course, but that number means something special to me.
Oh, he's Dunny with that number. I told him to take it off. You know, I went back to Utah State to watch their spring game. They asked me for a jersey to hang in their hallways. And so I went into Anders Butel, our great equipment manager, and I said, do you have any 47s? And so he took the Dunbar off the back of one and put Cooley on it, and I took it to Logan, Utah.
That's improvisation at its best. All right, Chris, I guess we'll see you around. We'll see you for the podcast. Hey, well, before we move on, we're going to talk to you.
Are you going to do any play-by-play out here today?
Well, it was really just this quarterback taking a snap. I guess we could do that. All right, we want to do it with Woodrum, or do you want to do it with Haskins?
You do it with Haskins. Why don't you wait until you get at least a 7-on-7?
What do you think, Kevin O'Connell?
This is an OTA for you. You got to get back in shape.
Oh, I never go out of shape. I'm always in broadcast shape.
You could miss training camp, preseason, be ready to go. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should take the preseason off. We're not going to do overtime games. You and I are done at overtime.
There's only one guy that could take the preseason off and show up opening day and do the game.
You're right. Doc Walker is the absolute. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, SJ9. All right, Chris, always a pleasure. What do you think of Kevin O'Connell? I'm going to talk to Joe Theismann in a second. What do you think of Kevin O'Connell? He has stepped up this year. I think he's a good man for the job.
I think he is going to do a tremendous job. He's creative. He's exciting. He's going to do all the installations for the players, and I think he'll captivate the players. Yep. And I think Kevin O'Connell looks like he could probably play quarterback today. He looks athletic.
Yeah, he's rather tall.
He is tall. He looks spry.
Thank you, buddy. I'll see you in the podcast room.
See ya.
Let me get over here and get Joe Theismann here. Get Joe Theismann here. He's here preparing for the preseason games, which you'll see.
Larry. How are you?
I'm good. Now, how weird is this for you? He's wearing 7. I know you've had all these conversations. It has been a media buzz about the number. All the cat's out of the bag. It's confirmed. There he is. How do you feel?
Well, it isn't the number; it's the name on the back that I think is important. And I hope Dwayne makes his own name for himself. He fills it out a lot better than I did. I can tell you that. It's a much bigger version of what the number 7 looked like, but. It's a choice that he made, and I just wish him all the luck in the world. I mean, there's so many things that he's going to have to learn, so many things that he's going to have to process. The last thing I wanted was any continuing conversation about the number, do you feel bad about not wearing it, all those kind of things. So I said, look, just go wear it, good luck with it, and wish him all the luck in the world.
Well, now that the number is situated, what do you like about him?
I like the eye test is really something, the only thing you can go on. I mean, I hadn't sat down with him for any period of time at all just to be able to get to know the young man a little bit. I know he's from a similar part in New Jersey where I grew up, so I understand his background a little bit growing up in central Jersey like that. He throws the ball well. He's got good feet, good size. He's bigger than I thought. When I walked by him in the locker room, I was a little bit surprised at how tall he was. I didn't see him that big on TV. Because TV's supposed to add something to you, but I can tell you in real life he's big.
Well, it helped you look a little larger than life in your day, but this guy is a good head taller than you. And but you go back to his college experience. I mean, that's high-level football, but he only really had 1 year to develop. I asked him yesterday if patience was going to be important to him. He goes, I learned patience because I really didn't get the chance to show what I could do at Ohio State until last year. That was the only year I had that chance.
Right. So he understands the learning process, which is very important. He's a smart young man. So the processing of the information is as vitally important as any of your physical skills. I've contended this game's 85% mental and 15% physical. Every kid out here can run, every quarterback can throw, everybody can move around. How do you process the information from a quarterback's perspective? How do you communicate that to other people? Do you have the voice to be able to have the inflection? If you're in the huddle, to be able to have everybody listen to you, understand you, know exactly what you're saying. Those are things that no one talks about. How quickly can you get the plays out of your mouth? I mean, when you stop and think of the NFL offenses, there are a combination of, there's anywhere between 10 and 20 different numbers, symbols, names, and all those things have to get out.
Cooley just said the same thing.
Yeah, that's one of the things you have to process. And I think the important thing for him is to just not be in a hurry. He can't be in a hurry. The coaching staff can't be in a hurry with him. I think the fans have to be patient as well. There's a lot to learn in this profession. And so we'll just have to see how he progresses through the course of the year. He's where he wants to be. And that's important. And the other guys went to places where it made sense. Kingsbury has Kyler, who was in an offense similar to his at Oklahoma. Daniel Jones was, he was in the Manning passing camps. He had Cutcliffe. So you see synergies in the first 2 quarterbacks that went. I don't think the Redskins thought he would be there, but good for us and good for him.
Hey, so if you could swing to the left and get the wide receivers, including number 17, Terry McLaurin, how badly does this team need these wide receivers to step up, these rookie wide receivers? You got Kelvin Harmon and Terry McLaurin. There's McLaurin, number 17, 4.3, 540. Great player at Ohio State, another great draft pick for the Redskins in the 3rd round. How badly does this team need help at the wide receiver position? Could these guys be the answer?
Well, I think they have to be the answer. They could be the answer on special teams, number one way. That way take some pressure off of Paul Richardson. I think this is a very, very important year in my mind for Josh Doxson because you're coming up on a contract year. These years have not been stellar for him. He's been hurt a little bit. He's been in and out. This is a year that he needs to be our bell cow. He needs to be the guy that when Jay calls plays, Josh is going to make the plays and get it done. I think anytime you can add speed and depth at the wide receiver and some size, it makes a difference. So you've got speed in one guy, size in the other. Mo Harris and the guys that are on this football team.
Mo Harris left.
Well, so there's a replacement.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. When you had a guy like Mo Harris on the team, and now you've coming in with another big kid, I think it's important. I think these young guys can contribute.
Asa, I want you to go take a shot across the way because we have another number situation unfolding on the far sideline. It is the tight ends, Joe, and there was so much said about your number 7 and Dwayne Haskins Jr. But right there you see number 47 running across the field. And following behind is the 47, the former 47, Chris Cooley. So it seems that Cooley has his eye on this tight end who does not have his name on the back of his jersey yet.
It's hard for Chris not to coach. I think it's, what he's trying to do is make sure the number suits the young man, which I think it does. He fills it out very well. Like I said, it looks good on him. I would say his arms are a little bit bigger than Chris's. That's about the physical difference that I see. But it's, it really is. Some kids get attached to numbers. That was the case with Dwayne. It was something he wore in high school, something he wore in college, and it was important to him. And I think from my perspective, it's important. You want to eliminate that one psychological hurdle that he has to go through and not have questions about it. Just go play. And like I said, the name above the number is going to make the difference as far as being able to play this game. But it's, it's good to see numbers out here like this. 47 is another. Chris is the consummate student of the game, even to this day. So that's the thing you have to look at and say, is this young man going to be that student?
Trying to get a glimpse of everybody. Asa, to your right, the offensive line, and first in view, number 72 and number 78, Pierce Baker and Martin, respectively. 4th and 5th round picks for the Redskins. Pierce Baker, number 72, started more games at Alabama than any team in Alabama history. Wes Martin plays left guard.
Plays left guard. I mean, certainly left guard was an issue for us last year. We had 6 guards on IR last year. The guard position has somewhat been an Achilles heel up front for us over the last couple of years, whether it's age, whether it's injury, no matter what you're talking about, it was a problem. We've got a young, great center in Chase Roulier, and then you get a chance to build around. All those guys, the guards and the centers, all are interchangeable in Bill Callahan's offense. And what would a draft be if we didn't draft a guy from Alabama? I mean, we would qualify as part of the draft if we didn't bring a kid in from Alabama. And it's a good one. And, that round, the 4th, 5th, 6th rounds, they're great places for offensive linemen. They get a chance to transition in. Unfortunately for us, we had a lot of guys play. Fortunately for us last year, we had a chance to look at a lot of guys play. So it gave us a chance to evaluate what we wanted and what we needed.
Joseph, outstanding commentary. We will see you for preseason game number 1 in one of your favorite cities, Cleveland, Ohio.
Can't wait. Can't wait to see the Brownies against the Redskins. I hope everybody's watching because I guarantee you it will be entertaining. Even though the quote-unquote starters won't play a lot of football, we get a chance to see a lot of young talent.
If the ratings are good, you might get a raise.
I doubt that from you.
Thank you, Joe. So, Asa, I'd like to swing around and get a look at the defense. We got a couple minutes left in this live stream at Redskins Park, an exclusive look at training camp. I should say rookie minicamp. Training camp going to begin at the end of July. The official dates have yet to be released. Those dates coming very soon, somewhere around the 25th, 26th of July. Time for you to book your road trip to Richmond and join us at training camp in the Commonwealth's state capital. So there you see the inside linebackers, and among that group you see the new inside linebackers coach. His name is Rob Ryan. Holcomb, number 57, is the rookie out of North Carolina, the draft pick, 6th-round pick for the Redskins. Rob Ryan, former defensive coordinator, he's got a wealth of experience. The Redskins have added a lot of experience to the defensive side of the football. Rob Ryan, former coordinator. Ray Horton, a former coordinator. And, of course, to the far side, you've got Jim Tomsula, the one and only defensive line coach for the Washington Redskins. Mr. Wonderful, as I call Jim Tomsula. Putting his guys through their paces. A couple minutes left in this live stream. Don't forget Redskins.com, the Redskins app, Redskins social media. You've got one-on-one sit-downs with all the draft picks coming up starting today. Dwayne Haskins, Montez Sweat, and Terry McLaurin. All those interviews, those sit-downs, you can check those out at Redskins.com. Might as well check out the outside backers over there where we see Montez Sweat, the aforementioned first-round pick, number 26. And, Asa, we want to catch number 90. He is wearing number 90. He's about 4 deep in that line. And we'll stay on this shot until we see him at that sled. Chad Grimm, the son of Hall of Famer Russ Grimm, is the coach on the scene there. And Montez Sweat, obviously the Redskins thought enough of him to move up and get him. Actually, they thought enough of him, considered to take him with that 15th overall pick. But he goes 26, and they're done with that drill. And you can see Montez going behind some bags there. But he's an imposing figure. He's 6'6", weighs 260. He's got that great 4.4 speed. This guy is a special athlete and could do some special things in this Redskins defense. How about one final look? To the right, we've got the DBs. We'll catch Ray Horton, the defensive backs coach. And Ray Horton, another former defensive coordinator, had a chance to play a round of golf with Ray at the Redskins Charitable Foundation golf tournament. Very, very thoughtful, experienced, really a great coach, great addition to the Redskins coaching staff. And Greg Minuski, the defensive coordinator, following behind. So the first period has been completed. And before we say goodbye, we'll try to thread the needle here with some of the folks on the sidelines. You get a look at the Redskins quarterback before we sign off, Dwayne Haskins. Eric Schaefer, Alex Santos, Richard Mann there in front of us. I want to thank you for watching this exclusive live stream from Rookie Minicamp. Redskins will have another couple days of this. The media will be here on Saturday. You'll have a live press conference with Jay Gruden at the conclusion of the Saturday practice. Also interviews with the players. Don't forget, again, Redskins.com sit-downs with each of the draft picks. For Asa Winborn and Jay Kring-Schreifels, I'm Larry Michael. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next time on Redskins.com.